Hi friends, welcome back to my training series. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you're hanging in there. Last week was pretty good for me. Let's get into the training. As usual for my schedule, Monday was a rest day. So I actually spent the day collecting paperwork for taxes. Not exactly a relaxing day, but it sure felt good to get that off my to-do list. On Tuesday, I was assigned a 75 to 80 minute easy run with strides. I ended up running 76 minutes and it felt really good. Then after work, I was scheduled to do my yoga practice. I got it done, but I was a little bit late because I did an interview with Instagram account Run Try Bike.
I love everything about how difficult it is and the emotional ups and downs along the way.
I put the link in the description below if you would like to check it out. On Wednesday, I was assigned LT intervals in the morning. The assignment was 5 times 4 minutes hard and 2 minutes easy, and it was a good workout. I was also assigned my core strength workout. It was a busy day at work, and I ended up getting to the gym a little bit later than I wanted to, but I got it done. Thank you to everyone who watches this training vlog. You really motivated me to help me get this assignment finished this week. On Thursday, I was scheduled a 60 to 75 minute easy run. I started out kind of stiff and slow, but as I warmed up, movement felt a lot better. I ended up running 71 minutes on a flattish rail trail with just 138 feet of gain. And Friday was special. I ended up having a second rest day this week, so I got to sleep in. I felt so good about that. On Saturday, Leah and I took the ferry to Whidbey Island, and I ran the Fort E.B. Kettles Trail Marathon. And going into it, I was feeling nervous. The weather forecast was for really bad weather, so I was preparing for just a long day of just like slog and mental training. But the morning temperatures ended up being perfect for running, and the rain held off until my second loop. And even then, I was mostly in the forest, so the rain really wasn't much of an issue.
Woohoo! Thanks, buddy.
I finished the run in 5 hours and 43 minutes, and my watch recorded nearly 5,100 feet of gain. This course is both beautiful and interesting, and it was really great to see some of my local running friends out at the event. Finally, on Sunday, my coach asked me to try to get in 14 miles of running, or if I was hiking, up to about 3 hours. I was really tired from Saturday's marathon, so I ended up hiking a lot, and I kept the workout to 3 hours. It was just tough to get out there, it was tough to get started, and it was tough to keep going. But I think that it's these long back-to-back efforts on the weekend that are so good for long-distance training, because there's just lots of tired time on feet, helps focus the mind and body on keeping moving forward. I ended up running and hiking about 10.4 miles with 2,100 feet of gain. So overall, I think it was a good week with a really strong weekend. I ended up with 55.9 miles and 12 hours and 24 minutes of total running this week. All right, well, I have a few questions from the commenters. Thank you, everybody, for leaving questions. And also thank you to those who say you like this Q&A segment. I won't say that it doesn't cause me stress, so I really do appreciate when you guys enjoy all this work that I'm putting into this. Okay, so first great question, what kind of socks do I wear? I love Injinji toe socks. I don't think I can go on and on enough about how much I love these socks. I usually run in the Ultra Run Crew socks. Each year I invest in dozens of these socks, and I just absolutely love them. I think that the toe protection in between each toe helps prevent blisters, but also I just like the way it feels. And since I wear shoes that have wide toe boxes, my toes have the opportunity to splay out and actually have some separation. And so I really like the feeling of having each toe individually wrapped. Now, I started off using Injinjis just as my running shoes, but Injinji has recently come out with some really great looking artist design casual toe socks as well. So I'm starting to fill up my casual closet with more and more Injinji toe socks, and it's going to be pretty soon where I will never not be in toe socks. I know that toe socks kind of freak some people out, but I love the way they feel. I just love wearing them, so yeah, I love them. All right, Jake asks me a question about how I pace my 200-mile efforts. He's got a number of sort of sub-questions here. You know, maybe I'm different than other runners, but pace isn't my biggest concern when I'm running a 200. My finish time is generally not my highest priority. I think my top priority is finishing the thing, and my second priority is to finish it while having a good time and hopefully not completely killing myself along the way. So I prioritize comfort and having a good experience over like totally going after it and trying to get the fastest time possible. That's not what I'm here for. However, this last year at Cocodona, I did end up having a time in mind because my first year at Cocodona, I think I finished in 104 hours, and then the second year I finished in 100 hours. So for my third year at Cocodona, I set the goal to finish in less than 96 hours so that I could say that I had finished it in less than 4 days. So that time I did have a time goal I was kind of keeping in mind, but if that time goal had slipped away and became unattainable, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I just would have thought, okay, well, fine. I'm now operating under a new set of circumstances. So for me, I'm looking at your question, and I think I'm going to side with it's just a matter of keep moving for me. I'm not that particularly interested in pace, and I'm not trying to win any races here. So for me, I'm just out there having a good time. If I'm feeling good, I'll move well. If I'm having a rough time, I'll move more slowly. And that slow movement doesn't make me sad, and I don't feel like it's causing me to like get behind in schedule in any way. So for me, it's just a mindset. I'm not really all about the speed. For me, it's just a matter of keeping on moving. And I would say that if you're going to get into 200s, that might be a great place to start. Focus on just the experience, focusing on finishing, and then maybe you find that you want to do it faster and faster, and then all the power to you. But anyway, I hope that answers the question. All right, Sue asks a great question. What keeps me coming back to Cocodona? And then, of course, how can I eat a burger and then continue running? So, Cocodona broke a cardinal rule for me in my life. Before I did my second Cocodona, I had a rule that I was never repeating races. There's just way too many races out there to be going around repeating them. But after the first inaugural year of Cocodona, I wanted to return for year 2 to see how the race was going to improve logistically over the first year. And then, since the second year had a completely different course because of the fire reroute, I was interested in coming back for year 3 because I wanted to get back to the original course and then again sort of experience the course that the organizers had in mind. But then another thing happened too along the way, which is that as I returned to Cocodona, I got to meet other athletes who knew me from my Cocodona videos on the channel, and it was really rewarding for me to talk with runners who were inspired to do it because of seeing it on this channel, or in other ways were just interested to meet me, and that made me feel really good. And I enjoy meeting runners, especially those who have had a chance to see my videos and for whom it's been useful to them. So part of the reason why I like to go back to Cocodona is because that there are people who are running it now who perhaps started on their ultra journey and their 200-mile journey because of watching one of the videos on this channel. So for me, it's a really great way to connect with the community and to sort of close a loop with these runners. That said, this is going to be my 4th attempt at starting the Cocodona 250, hopefully finishing it as well. And at this point anyway, I am thinking this might be my last Cocodona, as there will be other things starting up in the spring of 2025, and I would like to get out there and experience other races and other events. But Cocodona is so special to me. The race director has become a really close friend. R Viper Running is just an incredible company. They put on such amazing events. And so if I don't run Cocodona in the future, I really do hope I can remain a part of it and go down and volunteer and just be part of the community and give back to everybody. And in terms of how do I eat a burger, I think this gets to a little bit of the first or the second question about pace. To eat a burger and then sprint might be challenging for me, but I'll eat a burger at an aid station, and then I will leave that aid station at a fairly slow pace. I usually walk for a little ways after an aid station. I need to let the Coke that I had drank during that break, I need the gas to burp out. I need the food that I ate to digest. And so, yeah, I think that it's a pace and intensity thing that allows this solid food to be eaten during the event. But another thing too is that I really like it if I can pair a good meal together with a aid station where I'm going to take a nap. So if I could eat a burger and then go to sleep, and then wake up half an hour or an hour later, and then get moving, that probably helps too. But yeah, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. At least it hasn't been for me, to eat such a hearty meal full of calories and all the good stuff, and then get back out onto the course. But maybe it's because I'm not sprinting and trying to win the race. So this might be a good question for all those elites. All right, and then last question, Saeed's asking about what would be my biggest advice and tips for anybody preparing to run Moab 240. I mean, the number of advice and tips for 200s is a very long list, and I try to sprinkle some suggestions, throughout these conversations. But I think if I was going to choose maybe just a couple of big tips specifically for Moab, I would suggest that you do some heat training, really focus on your heat training, because it can get really hot during the day there at Moab, and having done heat training will really improve your experience. So get that in there and spend a few months with that ahead of time, and then also train for long, steep climbs. Some of the climbs in Moab are just cruel, might be a good word for it. And so being able to make it up the climb uninjured, you're not going to be going quickly in any means, but there are some really strong climbs in the race, and also you get to pretty high elevation. So the more you can train for climbing, I think will do you well. And then of course, do all the other stuff of lots of time on feet, lots of overnight training, lots and lots of training with your gear to make sure that you're always prepared and comfortable wearing or carrying all of your required gear, and just all the other stuff that you need to do for training for a 200. Thank you everybody for the questions. If you have any questions I can answer in the next video, please put them in the comments below, and I'll address some questions in our video next week. Thank you so much to the channel members for all your extra support of the channel. I sure do appreciate you so much. And if you're not a channel member, if you want to consider being one, there's a join button just down below. And then also please do like and subscribe. As everybody says, it helps the channel. Well, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really great week, and then I'll meet you here next week. All right, take care. Thanks.